Hello, welcome to the Night Radio and Television Station. Here come the latest updates. The Ministry of Industry and Trade has just issued a decision to reduce electricity bills and electricity prices for customers affected by COVID-19 pandemic. Under the decision cited by Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade Hoàng Quốc Vượng, customers using household electricity will enjoy a discount of 10% of the electricity retailing price of rate 1 to 4, i.e. less than 300 kilowatt per month. Manufacturing businesses will receive a 10% discount on electricity prices during peak, normal, and off-peak hours. Tourist accommodation establishments are entitled to a discount of electricity prices from the retail price of business electricity to the price of electricity produced after the discount. Wholesale price of electricity in rural areas, dormitories, residential clusters, commercial complexes reduced by 10% of rate 1 to 4 of household price, reducing by 10% of the wholesale prices for other purposes based on the current unit prices. Electricity wholesale prices will be reduced by 10% for industrial parks and markets. The Ministry of Industry and Trade said that the retail price for household electricity will be reduced for 3 months from April to the end of June. That is corresponding to the period of meter readings in May, June, and July. The establishment, other than hotels that are used for isolation or medical examination for people suspected to be infected or infected with the COVID-19 will get 100% free electricity. Medical facilities providing examination, testing, and treatment for patients suspected to be infected or infected with the COVID-19 will get 20% discount. The discount also applies to hotels used for isolating suspected to be infected or infected patients with COVID-19. The Ministry of Industry and Trade estimates that the total subsidies for electricity bills and electricity price reduction for customers affected by the COVID-19 is 11,000 billion Vietnam dong. According to Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc notice of conclusion at the government permanent meeting on April 15 on prevention and control of COVID-19 pandemic, the Prime Minister agreed with the recommendations of the Steering Committee on decreased risk classification in localities to apply appropriate prevention and control measures. Specifically, the high-risk local groups include 12 provinces and cities: Hồ Chí Minh City, Hà Nội, Đà Nẵng, Lào Cai, Quảng Ninh, Bắc Ninh, Ninh Bình, Hà Tĩnh, Quảng Nam, Bình Thuận, Khánh Hòa, and Tây Ninh. These localities continue to focus on leading and directing the implementation of the Prime Minister's Directive 16 until April 22nd or the 30th, and may consider the extension depending on the disease situation in the locality, and at the same time pay attention to removing difficulties, promoting production activities, building infrastructure, and ensuring good circulation. Local groups at risk include 16 provinces and cities: Hải Phòng, Cần Thơ, Lạng Sơn, Thái Nguyên, Hà Nam, Nam Định, Nghệ An, Thừa Thiên Huế, Đồng Nai, Bình Dương, Bình Phước, Kiên Giang, Sóc Trăng, An Giang, Đồng Tháp, and Hà Giang. These localities need to strictly implement measures according to Directive number 16 until the end of April the 22nd. There may be adjustment on April the 22nd depending on the disease situation. On April 16, U.S. President Donald Trump held an online conference with other leaders of the leading group of industrial developed countries, G7, including United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan. The White House said G7 group leaders agreed to work together to reopen the economies of the member states after the pandemic and to ensure reliable supply chains in the future. The White House affirmed that the G7 agreed to maintain its commitment to implement all the measures to ensure a strong and coordinated global response to the current health crisis, as well as disasters related to economy and humanity. At the conference, G7 leaders requested thorough review and reform of WHO. Despite this, German Chancellor Angela Merkel voiced support and pledged to support WHO. The President of the United States on April the 14th decided to suspend funding and request classification of WHO errors in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen on April the 16th announced that the whole Europe owes Italy an apology for not having sympathy and solidarity with this country during the first outbreak of COVID-19. Speaking at the plenary session of the European Parliament, Ms. Ursula von der Leyen expressed, "The truth is that so many people were not present at a time when Italy needed the help most and when the outbreak began. Therefore, the whole of Europe needs to send a heartfelt apology to Italy. But the apology is only valid if the attitude changes, and this country soon realized that we must protect the others to protect ourselves." Earlier in March, many European countries closed the border and banned the export of medical protective equipment, making it difficult to relieve Italy. A poll in mid-March in Italy showed that 88% of people felt abandoned by Europe. Although the epidemic had reached its peak in Italy, the downward speed is still slow. Yesterday, the country recorded another 525 deaths and 3,786 new infections. That's all of the news for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.